Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Jimmy Codger Racing and BTCC Round 3. What you're watching here is a replay from last week's feature race at Lago Maggiore. This season is shaping up to be something absolutely incredible. I never thought it would be like, this is the fourth season now, incredibly. And it just keeps getting better and better. The drivers have, they keep getting quicker, much to my annoyance, because I don't race much anymore, and they can't keep up with them. But what you're watching now is just a quick replay from last week. So this week, we see the grid heading over to Europe, over to Belgium, to Spa-Francorchamps, one of my favourite tracks. It chucks up. It's a proper driver's track. It's a technical track. It's so rewarding. It is a technical lap, but once you hook it up and you get a decent lap, then it's so rewarding. It's a fast flowing circuit. It's got everything: long straights, hairpins, chicanes. It's got the lot. And most famously, the Eau Rouge chicane, which, that's a thrill in itself. Some cars, you can take that flat out. You've just got to basically commit, hold on, and exit the other side. So I'll just quickly come out of this now, and good evening again to everybody, and I'll just come quickly out of this. I'll just put the scapes on for a second. It's so many button presses, it takes ages to get into the scapes. But I'd like to wish happy 4th of July to our American friends. So I think, cue the music, I think. No prizes for guessing who contributed that. That was our good friend, Mr. Adam Barth.
Good evening, good evening. It's quite fitting that it's Independence Day, isn't it, when the amount of aliens that we've got on the track racing with us. Wrong Independence Day, but nevertheless.
Yeah, true. But I've just had a couple of messages from... So so we're at Spa this week, Adam. Round 3. What are your thoughts on this track? Do you like it? Have you raced it much?
It's quite a fun circuit, as you were saying. It's got a mixture of everything. It's got fast straights. It's got technical corners. It's got hairpins. Obviously the famous shot going through Eau Rouge and Rallye-on. But it's one of those proper old school famous circuits, isn't it, that you really have to commit to get the lap out of it, and with it throwing in the weather as well, it's going to make it a really interesting evening.
Oh yeah, shouldn't forget to mention this is the first round that we've got to find a new name for this. Jimmy's weather stick.
Yeah, we've got to find a new name for that, because it sounds wrong every time we say it.
It does, yeah. It doesn't get any less dodgy. But yes, I have been meddling with the weather, and they're in for I was going to say treat. They probably won't call it a treat, but the feature race is going to be a wet affair. There's going to be a number of these dotted throughout the season. I'm not that cruel. I'm going to sort of one after the other. I am going to give them a break, but I would probably say 30% of them will involve rain to varying degrees. Now, Spa is also renowned for its crazy weather system. It's almost like it's got its own weather system. You can go into La Source dry, you can go through Eau Rouge dry, get on the Kemmel Straight, halfway up there, and heaven's open. Get through Les Cons, go down through Puon and it's dry. And it's absolutely nuts. So they've got to be on the toes tonight for the strategies. Use your weather radars, which they've got in the car. We can't. I wish they had that in the spectator view, Adam. I think I said this last week.
It's a shame, isn't it? We can't see what they're viewing. I mean, it should be a case that when you go on board with the car, you see what screen they're looking at in terms of their HUD and everything. But unfortunately, we can't see that. So we've no way of actually knowing. Well, you have because you've set it up, but us as viewers, we haven't got any idea of where the weather's coming in, how heavy the rain's going to be, how long it's going to last for. So, you know, I was going to say we're in the same boat as everybody else. That's probably not the best word. Probably not necessarily the best wording to use.
Yeah, well, I saw a guy running up and down the pit lane earlier selling dinghies. So he's
well, that's all right. He's going to make a killing. Don't sell them too much. You have immigrants coming in and trying to join the race.
Oh, hang on, we've got Captain. I'll just get a few messages in the chat before I open the lobby. In the YouTube chat here, I got Captain. Get your rubber dinghies ready for the wet race.
He knows you well.
He does. Captain's been with us for at least 2 seasons. Great guy. He's actually standing in for. Well, we mentioned the word aliens before. He's standing in for Clayjacks for the next 3 rounds. So big boots to fill. But that's not taking anything away from Captain. He's improved immensely. He was quick the last time I raced in season 3, but he has improved incredibly. I'm sure you picked up on it last week as well, Adam.
Yeah, he seemed to have a bit of bad luck in season 3. Got tangled up in other people's incidents, things that weren't necessarily his fault. He made a couple of mistakes himself, but yeah, so far the odd races that he's done, he's done a fantastic job, and as you say, he's really improved.
Well, it's approaching that time, Adam. It's approaching 7:30 when we open the lobby, so I'm sure these are all chomping at the bit. Maybe not for race 2, but they love it. It's a challenge for them because it's a
challenge for us when we're commentating on it. When you throw the weather in and all the strategies, so it's going to give us a headache.
Well, you should be used to that by now.
Yeah, just by listening to you. Sorry, my microphone's on.
He's at it.
He's at it.
Had an easy day, did you today?
It was a bit easier than the last 2 weeks I've had, so I'm a bit more awake tonight, which is a worry for you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But I was just going to say quickly that in the daily races that they do, it's not very often that PD include weather in them. So I know they do like it because it's something different and it gives them something to think about, and it's definitely a challenge. So we'll see see how they all cope with it. I'm sure they'll be fine. So we've got a sprint race first, 15-minute sprint race around the normal circuit, and then the feature race is going to be held at the 24-hour layout. The only difference with that is the length of the pit lane and where you exit. So it's quite a long pit stop, so I've upped the fuel level, or the delivery time, to compensate for that. So without any more jabbering, let's get this first lobby open for the sprint. And you don't need, there's nothing, you just make sure everything is all set up. 15 minutes, make sure it's the right track, Spa, yeah. BOP, yep, okay, right. So let's get this room open in 3, 2, 1. I'm just going to be back in a minute, Adam. I'm sure I heard a knock at the door.
Okay, no worries. That'll be his special parcels that he's been delivering from Love Honey or whatever it is that he orders from these days.
Whatever he says next is not true.
Well, that's a bit of a worry, because while he was disappearing, I was going to give you a rundown of the championship standings as it stands. Let's just find the points table then at the moment. Yeah, so as Jimmy said, Clayjax unfortunately isn't racing with us tonight, which is going to really open up the championship. But as it stands, Clayjax is leading the championship on 53 points. LFC Ben is in second place on 43. Legion is in 33 points in third place. Marty had a fantastic run last time out, finishing second, so he's in fourth on 28 points. Shadow is in fifth on 26. Danny C, defending champion, returned for the first time in the last race, and he won the feature race. He's on 19 points in sixth. Point behind him is Haydo in the BMW in seventh. He's on 18 points. Butler in the Volvo is in 8th on 17 points. Glowing, who isn't racing with us tonight, but he's there in 9th place on 10 points. And King's Court, who again isn't racing with us tonight, he's in the top 10 on 7 points. Then in the independents, that's really starting to look a little bit fun and spicy. We've got Astral leading the way on 14 points, and Astral was the driver of the day on the last race, which he did a fantastic job. We saw bits of clips of it as Jimmy was doing the build up there from the highlights of the last race, but he did a fantastic job on the reverse grid in the feature race. Started in third and was really battling with all the other drivers, the top level drivers, the likes of Clayjax and Danny C, and he was really holding his own, so he was a well-deserved driver of the day. He's leading the independents on 14. Tyler Mann, he's in second place on 11 points. Matthias in third place on 9. Trooper is there in fourth place on 8 points, and Kings again not racing with us tonight, but he's there in the top 5 on 5 points. And then in the manufacturers standings, we've got Renault leading the way on 36, Honda in second on 32, Nissan 28 in third, fourth is Vauxhall on 24, fifth is Peugeot on 21, Audi share that spot as well on 21 points, Volvo in 7th on 17, Mazda with 16 points in 8th, 13 points is BMW in 9th, and then Ford taken out the top 10 on 11 points. So that's as it stands at the moment in the championship standings, but obviously that's all going to change with Clayjax not being here tonight. The car that you're seeing out on track at the moment is Swifty, who's taken over, I believe, full time on this car. This is the Hamish Irvine independent livery, which was originally on a Peugeot 405. And I think I heard Jimmy back there, so am I right in thinking that Swifty's taken over this car full time, Jimmy?
He has indeed, Adam. Excellent taking over for there, Adam. Thank you ever so much.
Did it come with batteries, or do you have to buy them separate?
It wasn't for me. I'm gonna have to find out where mine is.
That's a worry that you're buying the same stuff as your next door neighbour.
I shouldn't really rise up to it. I shouldn't really give it back, shall I? Because I know what's.
Don't say happen. Rise up on that conversation.
Oh, dear me. So.
I'm awake.
Can you not have a cup of cocoa or something and sort of dull your senses or something?
I'm not as old as you. I don't have cocoa.
Oh dear, I can't say anything, can I? Right. Swiftly,
carry on. I'll shut up for a moment.
Swiftly moving on.
Oh, very good, very good.
So we're looking at Danny C here. This is season 3 champion. He's been in this car for every season I've run. He drives an Audi in real life. He loves the Audi, and I think that's him now. We've lost the Audi to Danny now. There's no chance of us getting it back. So Danny's another one to watch for tonight. I was going to say, he's normally right on the money with the strategies, but every so often
he had a couple of missteps last season, didn't he?
I was going to say misfires.
Oh, as we say that.
Oh dear me!
Quickly change camera.
Yeah, where he'll sort of he won't look at the bigger picture. He'll see what's in front of him and he'll go, "Oh, I'm going to go for this," and it doesn't always work out because he's not quite sure what the guy in front is on. And he's come a cropper last season. Brands Hatch stands out as one of them last year.
Yeah, I don't think that one was as he wasn't weather related. I think he just stayed out a bit too long on the title. He pitted too early in the feature race, didn't he? And then
that's right. Yeah.
His tyres ran out towards the end. He wasn't the only one to do that. There was other drivers throughout the season who did that as well. But normally, as you say, Danny is pretty on it with the strategies, but the way that you do the weather, it can trip up even the best of them.
Well, it has been known, but the guy that we're looking at on the screen at the moment is, forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, Cavinci or Cavanci.
I'm calling him KVN because that's what's on the screen.
KVN. I think we should stick to. We'll stick to
I'm
KVN.
never going to remember the other one.
Kevin.
Kevin. There we go.
He stepped in for Ekberg this week. Ekberg is another dance, another summer festival. So I don't know what sort of state Ekberg's going to be in when he returns. We might have to do a breath test. You'd be well over the limit. So he's joined us very recently. So he's had a few. I think he's had quite a few days in the car. Not as many as the rest. But interestingly, I'm his best friend now because I'm running wet races. So watch out for this. Watch out for this guy.
Oh, he's already gone into third on the standings at the moment in practice, and it's dry,
Yeah,
so that's a bit worrying for everybody else, isn't it?
He's saying he loves the wet races more than the dry races, which
and it's quite fitting that you put him in a Ford then, because the Fords were really good in the wet in the BTCC.
They were, weren't they?
Because they used to use a V6 engine. It was obviously heavier, and it gave good traction in the wet. So
and the torque was lower down, so they didn't have to as high revs.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll go to Shadow, who's out in Tim Harvey's Peugeot 406 from back in the day. Also won a title. What year did he win it, Adam? 92.
92.
I was at Alton Park last weekend, and what a weekend! Yeah, met Tim Harvey, met Jason Plato.
Met Tim Harvey at Silverstone as well, didn't you, last year?
Yeah, and my prize possession is I managed to get a race programme from Steve Ryder's last event, commentating or presenting the touring cars. I got a programme signed by Steve Ryder, so that's one to keep. That's a memento to keep.
Definitely.
So we'll go to as rhubarb and custard, as they used to call it. Go to Handy Pint, who's stepping in, as Adam said before, for glowing. So, no, Handy Pint goes well on this track. So, yeah, keep an eye out for this guy. He's one of the quick guys. Who haven't we seen yet? Butler we haven't seen, have we? Your mate Butler.
He hasn't had a lot of practice apparently, so let's see. I think he was in the practice lobby last night with you, and he was doing all right from
that old chestnut. Well, we've heard him say that before, haven't we?
Yeah, I don't think he's had time tonight to set up his wheels, so he's going to be on the pad tonight. He's not had the strongest of seasons so far. He's been caught up in a couple of incidents and spun. The results aren't really representative of this guy's pace, let's put it that way.
There's a plus side and a downside to that. The plus side is that you can control a spin or a loose rear end on a pad a lot easier than you can on a wheel, but you suffer with tyre wear. So he's going to have to have his A game out tonight. So
the saving grace is that it's going to be raining, so the tyre wear isn't as big an issue.
No, that's right.
In the wet races, but obviously as it dries out, or if it dries out, that could be a bit of an issue later on in the race. So yeah, he will be one to watch, Will Carl. He has his moments in wet races. He won a wet race standing in for Legion, I believe, at Red Bull Ring last season. So he is definitely one.
Speak of the devil.
Someone that we can watch, and Legion hasn't won a race this season so far, but he's been up there. He's had a couple of podiums.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, Legion is definitely one to watch. That's for sure.
What time are we on?
Ridiculously quick.
Hey, right. It's approaching the 10-minute practice, so we're about ready to. I'm just going to put a quick message up. So.
And we've got a full grid as well, which is great to see.
Yeah.
got Matthias back as well. It's great to see Matthias is going to be back on the grid. He unfortunately missed the last round.
Yeah.
And we've got Storm coming back in as well, running
That's
the
right.
Charlie Cox Mondeo. So it's great to see that car back out on track, especially with the amount of effort that you put into making the decal for the bonnet. That car needs to be out on the grid.
Well, we'll we'll run through the grid properly when they're qualifying. So I just had a few cars on the screen there, but we'll run through them properly. So right, so without any further jabber, we'll get this qualifying underway. I've got a feeling this is going to be. It's been a tight grid. Every week, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, obviously the first round at Brands Hatch, that we said it before, it's always going to be tight there because it's such a short circuit. But we had it just as tight at Mazur on the short circuit, which is a bit longer than the Indy circuit at Brands. So the fact that it was that close again, it looks like we've got the balance of the car and the drivers hopefully quite well sorted. So this is obviously a longer circuit. So it's going to be interesting to see the field spread on the times, but all of these guys are top level, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. We're really not going to know who's going to be on pole until the dying moments, I think.
I think you're right there, Adam. It's such a... I've seen laps... Well, where did we see it? Was it round 1 or was it round 2, Adam? Where... Was it Clayjack stole it, literally on the last lap?
Yeah, that was that might have been round 2... No, that was round 1, I think. I can't remember now. So much action has gone on, so to be fair, it all blends into one at this rate. But yeah, there was a moment where it just absolutely at the line changed at the last minute, which is great to see. It's great to see.
What they've got to watch out for here is as they come to the top of Eau Rouge and Radion, if you take too much of the curb, that's a penalty. And coming through this corner through Le Combe here, you can also pick a penalty up if you run. As Marty is there, sticking his great line through there. If you run wide there, that's another penalty spot. Pouon, which they're approaching in the next couple of corners. I love that corner, Adam. You're pretty high, fast in 5th gear. Knock it into 4th, and then basically get your line. And once it hooks up, you can just. Basically,
it's one of those corners, isn't it? Just watch this. So you get it tucked in quite nicely and just run it all the way out to the curb, not too far. Once you've got it turned in, you're pretty much able to get straight on the power again.
Exactly.
Because of the camber and the nature of the corner, it opens up quite nicely. But yeah, it's one of those corners that when you get it right, and it is worth quite a bit of lap time there because it's quite a fast corner. But as you said, you make a mistake there, you're off the track, and you pick up a penalty.
Speaking of penalties, this penalty line here is going to hurt them. They're approaching the penalty line now, which is right on the back straight approaching Blanchimont, where you've pretty much into 4th gear, 5th gear, so you're doing 120, 130, and you get a penalty there, you lose so much time. So we'll just welcome...
Which is a good thing, really, isn't it? Because it's a penalty. That's the whole point of it.
Well, it is
to lose a lot, but as you said, you lose a lot of momentum because it's all flat out through that section. Possibly even in the wet, you might have to feather the throttle a little bit, but you will lose a lot of time where they've positioned that penalty line.
So this man has been featuring at the top as well, Adam. LFC Ben.
Yeah, he won the sprint race last time out at Mazur. He's been on the podium multiple times as well. He's running 2nd in the championship and is looking good to take over the lead of the championship at this meeting with Clayjacks not being here. So he was one that we were saying at the beginning of the season is one to watch because he is quick. I'd seen him race in the minis over at CC Sim recently, and I saw just how quick that guy was. So not surprised that he's at the top, but he's channeling his inner James Thompson here, isn't he? And at the moment, obviously, he's down in 14th because they've not put any laps in, but he's definitely one to watch.
We'll go on board with Ben for a lap, and we'll see what sort of speed these are doing through here. I mean, I love this corner. It's this curve here. If you just take too much of that, that's where you get a penalty. But it's so satisfying.
Corner in
isn't it?
there at 133 mile an hour at the apex as he was going through there, and then just lost a little bit of speed as it goes up the hill. But he built it all the way down here. What speed does he get up to? Nearly 140 mile an hour, which is pretty good to what the Super Tourers were doing back in the day anyway. So that's quite fitting that we've got the speed fairly accurate on that. Well done on your choice of car.
Thank you. But the other one, it's been quite accurate all the way through. We've pegged it back because I didn't want it too unrealistic. I mean, you're the aficionado for this track. Well, sorry, not this track, but going through Church at Thruxton. They're up to 120, 130 up there. And that was...
yeah, they probably would have been. They dabbed the brakes to throw it in through. So that's very similar to this kind of corner, really. But
that's right.
Less of a turn.
And that was one of the probably most feared tracks in the touring cars, but it was also one of the fastest tracks. And Rydell loved it. He used to do his Swedish shuffle through the complex, didn't he, Adam?
He did, yeah. he always went well at Thruxton, did Rydell. So it's a bit of an omen then for Butler, who's running in Rydell's car.
Oh, see, Ben's had a spin there. That's what you get for you can just catch the gravel. So we'll go on board with Danny as he's coming up to complete his first flying lap. So at the moment, Captain is topping the leaderboard at the moment. I take that back, Matthias.
That's just changed. Matthias in the Independents. No, Marty is now in the Vectra. He's now gone up to the top of the standings. Danny's done it by half a second. That's a good first run.
That is incredible for Matthias, and yeah, that just vindicates what we were saying about how much Captain has improved. He's always been quick, and it's a pleasure to have him on the grid. He's always given me support, and bless him, he was going to do rounds 3 and 4, and he just said, "Do you need round 5 as well?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I don't know whether I'll make it," and he says, "Put me down for round 5. I'll work round it." How nice is that? It's
Shadow has just jumped to the top and only just ahead of Danny. It's 0.059. So Shadow's putting his stall out here, isn't he? He hasn't had the best of showing so far this season. He's had a couple of dud rounds, but he's one to watch because we know how quick this guy is, and he's just showing it right there. Can he improve on that? He'll want to improve. He'll want to get a bit of a bigger gap and make it a bit more comfortable.
I've worked out how to get the extended cockpit views, Adam. You can do it on the controller, but you can't do it on the keyboard.
Okay.
So
you've got to have both plugged in, and you've got to be ambidextrous, have you?
Well, yeah.
Two peripherals. This can only go well, ladies and gentlemen. Codger and technology. What can possibly go wrong?
I'll tell you what, I've done 4 seasons up to now. I'm not doing too bad.
No, you've done more than I have.
I'm interested. See, Hado is up there again in 6th place at the moment. They've probably got 1 lap left now. Well, 1/2 laps with the countdown. So Butler's going to have potentially. He might get another lap.
Hopefully you set the countdown long enough then for them to get round.
Yeah, 2 minutes I think.
Well, Legion's jumped to the top. Where did that lap come from? It's done a 2:30, 2:40.
So,
and only just
600ths off between him and Shadow. Danny's uncharacteristically in 3rd, but never ruled Danny out.
Well, he's dropped down now, as you say that, because Marty's just jumped up into 3rd. So Danny's obviously on another lap anyway. They're obviously all going for it on their next flying laps. But yeah, obviously because of the nature of the circuit, with it being such a long layout, they're not going to get as many runs as they have done at the previous circuits. So they have to think about it a little bit. They have to push a lot harder, a lot earlier on. But Legion's up. Ben has now topped it. How has he found that lap?
7/10.
7/10 quicker.
He's the first guy in the 29s.
That's impressive.
But all it takes is 1 penalty, and that's half a second, and you lose a second. So they've got to be. this is what I was saying about it being a technical track, and yeah, I'd be surprised if anyone gets anywhere near that now with Ben. That's a huge chunk of time to find.
That is a huge gap. We had most of the field covered by that gap in the last couple of rounds, and
That's
here
right.
he is at the top, and he's got 7 tenths in his pocket. So
Let's just see what the gap is to 8th place. 1.4.
he's already gone faster as well in that first sector. I think I just saw flagged up. So that's looking impressive for Ben to be on pole.
Okay, so top 6 are covered by a second, Adam.
Which is okay for a long circuit like this.
I'm just going to keep an eye on these two and just see. Danny's now down in 5th place. Shadow's put himself, his jump Marty, up into 3rd place. We've got 16 watching. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. Watching this is what promises to be an absolute cracker tonight. It's not full Codger, and we see it. Look at that. That's the awareness these drivers have got. You've got Ben there on a cool down lap. He knows Shadow's coming round on a hot lap, pulls right off the line, lets Shadow through to complete his lap. And it's just, that's the respect that we get in this community all the time. Legion has now...
Where did that come from? So there's obviously time in this track, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%. So he's 300s. Wow. I didn't think that...
I'm wondering whether he got a tow because he's surrounded by cars.
Well, I was just going to say,
he might have got a bit of a slipstream.
When we were looking at Shadow, I saw Legion in a group of cars ahead. So maybe he did get a tow. So Danny is also in the 29s. So can anybody now, who's on a lap now? They're all...
Shadow was on a lap, but I don't know whether he's crossed the line yet. He hasn't improved if he has, so... Yeah, I can't there's a few cars coming out of the chicane now. Shadow has improved, so he just crossed the line. I don't know.
Danny C has improved.
Danny C's improved as well, so yeah, only just beating Shadow there, but it's half a second though.
But he's only just under 2 tenths in front of Shadow. Butler's improved 3 places, or 2 places, up to 5th place. That's a good result for Butler. So it would appear that is looking like your grid.
Well, Legion and Ben, they're sharing the front row, but that's not necessarily the best place to start on this track because you've got such a long run down straight, and you've got the slipstream. So, okay, there might be a bit of a gap between the cars up the front, but that doesn't actually mean anything on this circuit. But well done to Legion getting that pole position, only just from LFC Ben.
I've had a language lesson, Adam.
Okay.
I've got to work this out now. Well, just while I do that, I'll just get the results up, and you can run through the results.
Okay, so in pole position then, for his first pole position of the season in the Nissan Primera is Legion on a 1:29.505, just pipping Ben in the Honda to 2nd place. Danny C, defending champion, makes it up into 3rd place. That was a good final lap there from Danny. Shadow in 4th place in the Peugeot. Butler made it up into 5th, so that's a good start there for Butler in the Volvo. Marty in the Vauxhall in 6th. Haydo in 7th in the BMW. Matthias in the independent Honda, he has made it up into the top 8, so that's a fantastic result from him. Only 1.2 off of the top time, so that's a great result from him. Captain in the Renault, standing in for Clayjax, he's in 9th. Swifty in the 2nd of the independents in the Peugeot, he's in 10th. Astral, driver of the day last time out, he's in 11th in the Jamie Wall Cavalier. Handy Pint didn't have the best of runs there, unfortunately, for Handy Pint. He's in 12th. We're calling him KVN, but Jimmy's obviously got a translation there. We'll go through that one in a moment. He's in the Ford, and he's in 13th. Tyler in the Primera, and then Matt Neal Primera in 14th, and then Storm in the Charlie Cox Ford Mondeo in 15th place. Jimmy, excellent. We have a language lesson.
We do. I was right. Apparently, it's Key Van. Well, he's it's CI as in gin without the N. So Kivanji. Sounds like something Jumanji, doesn't it? Off
Jumanji with a K.
Jumanji with a K. There we go.
Jumanji with a K. There we go. Kivanji.
Kivanji. There we go.
Kivanji.
Always up for a pronunciation.
We're gonna get that wrong.
We are, but we've had some horrendous names not horrendous names, but difficult names to pronounce, haven't we?
Well, they all come up with these really random tag names, don't they? And it don't make it very easy for us when we're talking.
I think they do it on purpose.
They do it to trip us up, don't they?
Oh dear. Right. So let's look at that full grid. Absolutely brilliant. So let's have a clean race, have a good race, and.
Shadow's asked in the chat, are Ben and Legion running nitrous? So he's obviously after the scrutineers to have a look at those two cars.
Yeah, so maybe get the scrutineers on the go. So, right, so.
That's obviously a joke, ladies and gentlemen, because it's a BOP balance of performance. Says that nobody can run anything wrong or change setup because it's all exactly the same settings. So it was just a fantastic lap from both Legion and Ben there.
Exactly. Look at that. I mean, 300ths between them, and I mean, look at the grid. I mean, 2:31 is a brilliant time on here. That's not to be sniffed at all. I think my best was a 2:32.8, so that would have put me right down the bottom of the grid. So it's yeah. So are we ready for the?
We're ready.
First sprint race. Well, it's it's the only sprint race for the sprint race here at Spa-Francorchamps for round 3 of Jimmy Codger's British Touring Car Championship. Here we go. So let's get this race ready. I'm sure they'll all be looking forward to this one. So, without any more jabbering from me, let's get this race underway.
Well, theoretically, it should be nice and simple. Where the weather we know is going to stay stable. We've not got any rain in this one. There's no pit stops.
Haven't we?
Haven't we? I'm assuming so. And they're obviously on the soft tyres. So
I wouldn't do that.
I would have. You're getting too soft in your old age.
And it's a grid start with a full start check. So we have the lights come on now. Wait for the lights to go off. Let's see if Legion is on the better line for the inside as Ben goes immediately over to the right side of the track, but then he's covering off Shadow. So let's just make it through here cleanly as we see. I think that was LFC Ben getting it a bit loose coming out of La Source. He's getting a bit saucy. Whee!
It's always going to get a bit saucy through there, and it's looking already a little bit saucy as they go up through here.
Wow, what a shot!
And this is where the slipstream really takes hold now, because the speed is building. You've got the air gap in front of you, so Ben's trying on the outside, Legion's holding the inside, so Ben's going to have to brake super late to get around the outside here. He's got a little bit of momentum.
Oh, it's 4 abreast!
It's 4 abreast. Danny C from 3rd place. Is he going to take the lead? Come on, cameraman. No, he hasn't, so Ben's seen them all off, so Legion has lost his pole position, has dropped all the way. He's going to have to go down to 4th because Shadow's up the inside of him, though he's held it off. But fantastic start there from Ben. And Danny C has already made up a place.
As you can see him in Ben's rearview mirror there, you have to make hay while the sun shines.
You have to watch out for Danny C there, because he's pulling Legion along with him, but Butler has made up a place as well on Shadow. We never saw that happen, but Butler's now up into 4th place, and Shadow has dropped down to 5th after challenging for the lead early on. He might have
he's got
himself a little bit off of line there, but Matthias, I was just about to say, Matthias is right up there as well in the independent Honda.
Hot on his heels of Shadow, but he's got past Marty. So yeah, this. I can see. I'm just going to go to Shadow. That I can see a move coming here. A full touring car move. Let's look at this. Oh, Shadow's got he's got the race suit on. Bless him.
Fair play. got Peugeot on his helmet.
Yeah.
Got the correct colour on the overalls.
But this is an overtaking spot, but you can see Butler's defending because he knows you can get a move done by going round the outside because it puts you on the inside for this corner, and it is a move that you do see quite often.
You have to be fully alongside though, and you have to really commit to it, and if you get it slightly wrong you're going to compromise yourself on the exit and get re-overtaken going down into the hairpin. So that was well played by everybody going down there. Storm's made up a few positions. He started at the back and he's already up into 12th place. Great to see this car back on track again.
Yeah, he had a bit of a pedal issue, but Handy Pint going a little bit slowly there, so whether Handy Pint's had an issue. Storm's just picked up a penalty there, but that's going to bring Swifty into play now, so Swifty in 13th place. As we see a move here being made by Kivanji, coming up the Kemmel straight here. Can they get this neck and neck here? But we see Kivanji's got a half-second penalty.
Yeah, I think he took too much of the curb on the inside going up the hills. That's possibly where he picked the penalty up.
Okay.
He was trying to make the move on Swifty and just took a little bit too much curb. So that's going to hurt him later on in the lap. But he's still doing well considering this is his first run on these cars.
It is.
He's up there with the pace.
But it's great to see the close race, the close racing, and the Swifty. It's his debut as well. Full-time seat now in the Peugeot, but he's just got out there enjoying himself. But I can see a battle developing there, but that's between captains. So that's But these three are all this group of five here. There's going to be. He's chasing. He's really hounding Butler. Is Matthias? Matthias is really hunting Butler there. So, but I think did you mention earlier Butler's on the pad? So maybe he's getting used to that.
That's possibly helping him a little bit with sliding around out the back. But yeah, we've got Legion who's taken the position from Danny. But obviously they've been fighting a bit because Ben is absolutely disappearing up the road. We're on board here with Shadow. Now, is he going to go for a move on Danny? Because he can possibly use Danny to make a bit of a gap and then get past Legion. So is Danny going to go for a move? Thinks about it. No. This is the move now. Can he get round the inside? No.
Danny got it a bit loose there, but he might have a chance coming into La Source. Now these are going to be really close as LFC Ben has picked up the fastest lap. 29.1. I've got a feeling that was quicker than his quali lap.
That was quicker than his quali laps. He's absolutely
Legion's run wide.
Legion's run wide. That might be a penalty. If not, he's lost momentum. So where's Danny going to go? Can Danny get down the inside? I don't think he's going to. He can't really afford to try and throw it down the inside there because he's going to have nowhere to go. So he's got to back off, try and get the momentum up the hill.
But he's got Shadow right on his heels.
Shadow, it can possibly take advantage of both of these because he's going to get a double toe now. He's going to get the momentum. Legion all the way down the right hand side, forcing everybody around the outside. Shadow around the outside of Danny. So whilst Danny was trying to get down the inside of Legion and was being blocked, that's helped Shadow. And we've got Butler. He's trying to get in on the action. He's not far away from these guys behind as well. Down the inside for Shadow. Did he get that one done? Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. So Shadow has now taken over into second. That's dropped Legion down into third. All the meanwhile, LFC Ben is just disappearing off into the sunset.
So what sort of gap has Ben got at the top now? He's got nearly a 2.5 second gap. But look at this battle developing between Matthias and Marty. This is a really fierce battle now. This is lap 3. Now we know how quick Marty is in John Clennan's Vectra. Matthias is really mixing it here. These are some of the quickest guys I've ever raced with, and it's Matthias's only his second week, and he's really proving to be a force to be reckoned with, isn't he, Adam?
Yeah, definitely. He's right in the mix, as you say, with these experienced drivers. Butler and Marty know each other really well. They've raced against each other, but they've obviously got this new guy, this German, this Matthias, in the middle, separating them. He's running a Rob Gravett Honda, Rob Gravett was the overall champion in 1990, but that wasn't obviously Super Touring. So he's really putting in a good performance here. Is Matthias lead independent as we see Danny looking to go round the outside of Legion, hasn't quite got it. Has Butler got the run on the exit of the chicane here? They may have slowed each other up, but Danny now is going to have to go defensive down the inside. Is he going to go defensive, or is he expecting Cole to just sit there? Butler down the inside.
Having a think about it.
He thought about it, but he thought better of it as Matthias trying to make a bit of an advantage of that. He's shuffled himself out a little bit, and you've got Marty all over the back of Matthias now. It's difficult to know where to look, isn't it?
It is, but look at this view coming down through Eau Rouge. Not one incident. I tell you what, I really do enjoy this track. May not be the quickest, but I love it. As you see Danny C going for a move here, side by side with Legion coming into Les Combes. So Danny's defending the outside line, but he's not quite close enough, is Legion, to make that move. The next opportunity is, it's called No Name Corner or Speaker's Corner, which is at the bottom of this short straight here before you head down to Pouhon. I think it's called Speaker's Corner. It's got a funny name here. I mean, he's not close enough there, but Pouhon is also an opportunity if Legion can get on the left hand side of Danny and take that. But Danny's wise to that.
And his best bet would probably be to take a little bit of a wider line, which he's trying, carry the momentum through, try and get a bit of a tighter exit. Or he's gone too far off now as Legion.
That's a penalty. That
will be a penalty as he bumps up in the air, tries to get back on. He would be lucky if he doesn't get a penalty out of that.
Butler will be rubbing his hands with that one.
Yeah, Butler will have zeroed straight in. He will have seen that mistake and he's thinking, right, I can get a little bit of a tow here. I've got my friend Marty behind me, but if I can get onto the back of Legion, that's going to pull me straight up into this fight for the podium.
So Marty's managed to make a pass on Matthias, but that's taken 4 laps to do, which is incredible. Given, and here's the move coming now.
So obviously Legion did get the penalty, so he's had to ease off. How many places is he going to lose? Is he going to lose it to Matthias as well? Yes, he is. Can he hold on from Heido? Heido's looking round the outside. I don't think he's going to get him here. He's really brave on the brakes. Legion managed to defend that. Yes, he has. So that was all down to Legion running wide through Pouhon, getting that penalty, and then having to take that penalty down that fast section.
Just goes to show how much you can lose and where it really does. It can create a really concertina effect as we're seeing here. But Handy Pint, as we see,
Shadow's made a mistake. Shadow is off to the side of the circuit there, Jimmy. He was in second place and he is tumbling down the order. He was on, there he is, rejoining right at the back now.
Oh,
that was a weird one.
He's gone what? Let's just see if we can get let's see if we can get a longer replay.
Probably can't now, I wouldn't have thought, because it's already happened, hasn't it?
No, here we go.
Oh no, okay, well done.
Oh, he's just gone over the sausage curb.
That was a weird one. Yeah, he's just bounced over the sausage curb, lost traction. That was a very weird incident, and very unlike Shadow as well.
Very, yeah.
All so that's the way down in 10th. So, that was what was Handy Pint doing there? Handy Pint obviously made a mistake and came straight on and T-boned into the side of a recovery Shadow. So his day's gone from bad to worse.
So why are we picking up LFC?
I think you were looking at LFC, Ben, when you pressed the replay button, unfortunately, so we missed that incident now.
No, I can still get it. Your Handy Pint, you say?
Yeah.
Oh.
Towards the back.
We've lost Handy Pint.
We've lost Handy Pint. Oh, so
that's why I can't get it.
Maybe he had a disconnect then.
Possibly with his wheel, yeah.
He may have had a disconnect because he
suddenly
shot straight across the circuit, straight into the side of Shadow, who was recovering. So
Yeah.
But that's brought Danny C up into second and Butler now in third place.
Look
but
at this.
that is not a given thing, because the two side by side, at least they're both silver because they're getting quite close to each other. And Butler has made the move, has got past Danny C. Now Legion isn't out of this. He dropped all the way back down into 8th at one point after his penalty.
Marty's having a sniff on Danny C as well into the bus stop, but Blanchimont is a great place for a potential move, but Marty's there getting it a little bit loose.
Look at this pack, how close they are running together. This is fantastic racing from these guys. Ben has just cleared off completely into the distance.
So we've got Hayden, so we've got Swifty now up into 10th place. That's a great place for Swifty considering he was starting near the back. So Butler now finds himself in 2nd place. But I just want to see what the gap is now to 5 seconds. So Ben's on a Sunday cruise.
Handy Point has just messaged in the chat saying that something went on with his wheel. Trying to sort it now, and apologies to Shadow. So obviously he had a mild disconnect or something going into that corner.
Well, that's what we get. You see, you get the respect on track, and you also get the respect. We've met each other numerous times at various events, and the respect is shown there. And he straight away apologises to Shadow. So Shadow will take that. He's a lovely guy, Shadow. So he'll take that as a genuine apology. So, but let's just see what the gap is now. Obviously, Danny C has now lost a place to Marty. So Marty's on the charge.
Well, Marty probably got the good run going up the Kemmel Straight, but as we see one of the cars Haydo going wide in the background. But this fight for the podium is not over yet. This is getting really, really close now. We've got John Cleland all over the back of the Volvo, which is quite fitting really, because John Cleland in real life was actually a Volvo dealership owner.
That's right.
Despite racing for Vauxhall his entire BTCC career, and then he sold Volvos on the weekend, which is always a bit strange. But yeah, Butler hasn't got an easy time of this, because Marty is really looking now. Well, he's going to get a little bit of a run.
He just dipped a wheel on the grass there, coming into that last corner before Blanchimont.
Which give it wide there for Butler. He's got a bit of a run here.
Marty's got a run, so let's just come back out of this view now, see if he can go all the way around the outside here at Blanchimont. It's one of the fastest corners.
Trying to do exactly the same thing behind against.
They've both got slipstream. Look at
that. Siamese racing.
Wow.
Where's Danny going to go? Danny looks Danny inside. Is he going to get in? No, back out of that.
What a brave move.
They're still side by side.
I tell you what, that is where I'm just gonna see if I can.
Oh well, they've all crossed the line now. That was the race.
I'm just gonna show you this replay of this side by side all the way through Blanchimont, all the way to the bus stop. Not a bit of contact. Look at that,
fantastic racing, and Legion just beat Danny C to the line to get that 4th place as well. So
absolutely incredible.
Ben is on his parade lap now. Let's see how far around he's just coming to the top of the Kemmel Straight, so that's how far ahead he was. He's already celebrating. Look, he's
given the signature tyre warmer that he needs to warm the tyres anymore. What a great win for Ben there. Come straight out the blocks. It was a bit hairy at the first few corners, but well done, Ben, winning the sprint race here at Spa. That's given some good points for not only Honda, but that'll really bump his chances up in the table. So
well, it definitely will, with Clayjack's not racing tonight. Ben was second in the standings, so that will more than likely see him, if not take over the lead of the championship, very, very close. So he's done everything he needed to in that race. Fantastic result.
Oh, before I forget, hang on.
Oh yeah, save the replay. I'll take a photo of this as well, because we're going to need that for setting the grid. So we've got LFC Ben taking the win. No doubt he will be dedicating this win to Liverpool Football Club, obviously, who he's a big fan of. One of their players tragically lost their life the other day, so he will be dedicating that to them for sure. Butler in second, made a fantastic result there. very closely followed by Marty. Legion managed to recover quite well considering his penalty early on. He finished in 4th place. Danny C, unfortunately, at the end there got shuffled back, dropped down to 5th. Haydo doing another great job there in 6th place. With Matthias bringing home in 7th place overall, and the lead independent, with Captain improving quite well as well, bringing it home in 8th place in the Renault Laguna. Shadow, after his unfortunate spin, he's come home in 9th, so not a bad recovery considering how far down he dropped. Swifty in 10th, Tyler in 11th, Astral in 12th, Storm in 13th. What was his name?
Kavanji
in 14th. And Handy Pint unfortunately didn't finish because he had wheel issues. We hope that he can get it all sorted and come back in the next race.
But everybody that's great job there by you, Adam. But everybody be scoring points there, no matter where, with the independents this year. So yeah, Tyler's got some good points there. Swifty has got some really good points. I believe Swifty was a second independent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's some good points for Swifty. So what the procedure is now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuning in for the first time, thank you ever so much. If you're a regular viewer, thank you ever so much. What happens now is I run a feature race for 30 minutes with tyre wear, fuel usage. The grid is set by the reverse results of the race you've just seen. So the winner of the previous race will now start at the back of the grid, and so on, all the way up through the grid. So I'm just going to change the lobby setting, so I just need to put that. Nearly started qualifying again. So what I'll have to do,
did that last
I'm just trying to think what the best way to do this is. I might just put some weather. I tell you what, I might just put some rain in here, just to give them some rain, and then I'll open the proper lobby. That's what I'll do. Because otherwise, they're gonna see the feature race by the time we've done the grid with the weather. I don't normally like doing that. So that's 15 minutes. That'll be enough for them. They can have some practice with that. I'll change it again. Right. Are we ready? Oh dear, look at this.
That was a sudden and dramatic change, wasn't it?
I'll just put oops. This isn't the feature.
Is this going to work though, Jimmy? Because when you change, you're going to have to change the lobby settings again, which means you're going to have to reset the grid, aren't you?
Oh, wait a minute. They can only use softs. Wait a minute. They can only use softs, can't they? Wait a minute. Can they use intermediates? If they can, I'll leave it on there. Yeah, they're on intermediates and wets. Right, okay, that's fine. No, I'll just change it again. Yeah, I'll just change it again. It's fine.
Yeah, but do you then have to reset the grid when you change the lobby settings?
Yeah.
Because you've already loaded it, haven't you?
Yeah. Good point, Adam. Good point. Right, I'll just have to load settings. Right, you don't want to see this, Adam. Look away.
No, I'm looking away.
Right, you can. Yeah, okay, you can. Yeah. Right, so this is the feature now.
Okay, well, we'll go through this quickly. Hopefully everybody loads in quickly enough.
Oops.
Worth noting as well that LFC Ben got the fastest lap, unsurprisingly, in that last race with a 1:29.1. He did that on lap 2, I think, so that was an impressive lap time. And that obviously gives him a bonus point in the championship.
That's right.
Could be quite vital towards the end of the season.
Right, are we ready? Mr. Bath.
Right, okay, so you want to put LFC Ben all the way down to the bottom.
Yep.
Then Butler.
How come we've... Hang on a minute. Not everybody's entered.
Yeah, we got 16.
Why was it... No.
Oh, Matthias.
Matthias,
sorry. He was just loading in. He hadn't actually...
Yeah, we've just got to wait for this driver to... Yep, there we go. Lovely.
There we go.
Right. So, change grid order. Right, sorry to mess you about, Adam. LFC Ben.
Right, LFC Ben all the way down to the bottom.
Yep.
Then Butler.
Yep.
Then Marty.
Yep.
Then Legion.
Yep.
Then Danny.
Wow. Yep.
Then Hado.
Yep.
Then Matthias.
Wow. What? Yep.
Captain.
Oh, sorry, no. Above Matthias.
Captain above Matthias, yeah.
Yep.
Then Shadow.
He's got... They're going to have to watch out for Shadow. He'll be on the charge.
He's going to be angry. Swifty.
Yep.
Then Tyler, which
That's
is
right.
where it is
Yep.
anyway. Astral. Then the man with the most fitting name for this weather, Storm.
Blame Norm. Blame him.
And then that's it, because Handy Pint disconnected, so that puts him on pole for this
Lovely job.
this next race.
Excellent stuff. Right. Should we have a quick look at... Oh. I've done it this time, haven't I?
Well, at least they know it's going to be wet at the start.
We'll give him... I'll give him 5 minutes.
It'll give them a bit of an idea of what they're in for.
Because it resets when the race starts anyway, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
Woof! Look at this.
Filthy weather. Filthy weather. See, it's already...
Oh!
Oh, there we go. That's a good omen, isn't it? Already spinning coming out of the pits. I'm wondering what tyres he was on. So Marty's there testing the wets.
Well held,
Drifting it
sir.
through.
Well held.
Well, he's Scottish. He's going to be all right. He was born with webbed feet, wasn't he? So he'll be all right in these conditions.
Oh, I
Following
can't
the
get
wheel
replays
tracks
of
of the
this.
car in front. Well, for those of you watching at home, you've got a little bar on the left-hand side, bottom left-hand side of the screen. It shows how much water is on the track. The drivers have got that same bit of information. You can see what tyres they're on.
Can you point to it with that pointer you can do? I've seen you... You've done it before with a pointer. It comes on the screen. If you can point to it, that'll be handy.
I can't control it. I'm only watching your stream, aren't I? I'm not controlling it. So I can point to it on my TV, but nobody will actually see it.
Nobody can see it. No, cool.
Nobody can see it. So, but yeah, it gives you a bit of an idea of how much water there is on the circuit. The drivers have that same information. But yeah, this is going to make life very, very interesting in the opening laps. Remember, this is a standing start for this feature race.
No, it's a rolling start.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Sorry, rolling start for the feature race. So it should make life a little bit more comfortable going up the hill for the first time.
Should.
It should do. It should do. Swifty's already got a penalty. I know this is only practice, but Swifty's already got a penalty as well as so many others we've seen. That's obviously them sliding and just getting over the track limits a little bit. They'll be testing where all the grip is. Some of them will be running intermediates, some will be running the wet tyres.
You see, Swifty's running the intermediates.
Swifty's running intermediates, which I think is about right for where the water level is, and it looks like it's starting to dry out on this portion of the circuit. So,
as the captain is testing the wets. Now, the thing you've got to work out here is it's not going to be a wet race completely. It's going to be wet to dry, possibly. I'm not saying anymore. But the wets will go off a cliff quicker on a drying track, because what happens is the blocks of the tread start to overheat and they start melting, and then you end up virtually like trying to, it's like Bambi on ice, whereas the intermediates are basically grooved slicks, so they're good in standing water, a damp track. But for heavy standing water, the intermediates can't really disperse the amount of water required for the grip. Whereas when the track dries out, the guys on intermediates are going to have a little bit of an advantage. 246, I did a 244, I think. So, wonder where that would have put me. We're going to see some quick times. Just going to see what Handy Pint's testing. Intermediates. Do you think they've had long enough now, Adam?
I think so, yeah.
Right.
We don't want to give away all your secrets all at once, do we?
Oops.
So of course, because this is a wet race, we don't have a mandatory tyre rule in this one. They can use whatever tyres they see fit, including the softs as well. They can use the soft tyres if they want to, and obviously if it dries out enough they'll want to use those because they're the fastest tyres, but they're going to have to be watching the weather radar to see whether the rain's coming in again.
That's a very good point, Adam. Oh, caps lock. Yeah, they have the... So, good luck, everybody's saying. Right, so, come on, Adam. Ready-ish, says Butler. Give us a countdown, Adam, please.
Right, okay, well here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. It is the feature race here at Spa, round 3 of Codger's BTCC, and the weather has turned for the worst. So here we go then, 3, 2, 1, let's get this underway. I have got my drink charged. Not that I'm going to need too much fluid because there's going to be enough of it on the screen, I think, isn't it? Marty's saying before the sun comes, he's ready for it.
And here we go.
So Handy Pint on pole, obviously because he didn't finish the sprint race, unfortunately, because of his wheel disconnecting.
But it's great to see him back on the track.
Because we're using the sports car layout, the start-finish line, or the start line, I should say, is down the bottom of the hill here. So they've got a good clear run. Well, I say clear run with this weather. Clearish run. As the lights go green then.
Got 16 watching, tuning in for this. What a great... This is brilliant. As we see go through Eau Rouge for the first time, and we'll see what... As Handy Pint has managed to... But look at this, look at Kavanji. He's already... I know he started... He's now taken the lead from Handy Pint at the bottom of the Kemmel Straight now.
Well, you did say he likes the wet weather, and
he does.
He's in a Ford. It's proving a good omen so far for him, isn't it?
I hope we haven't put the mockers on it, but he quite confidently said, yeah, I love the wet weather. And he's part of a league, he's one of Astral's friends, so, yeah, I'm keeping an eye on this guy, so I'm just going to see what mix of tyres we've got in use, Adam. So I think Captain was testing the wets. He's started on the wets, 3 abreast, coming down here. Wow.
Well, this is the difficulty now, isn't it? Because you've got to take into consideration that everybody might be on different tyres. They can't really 100% see where they're going.
Does that rain got? Can you hear that? I can really hear that. It's like you're having a shower, Adam.
Am I? Okay. Well, with a surname like Bath, you missed the pun on that one.
Oh dear. I did, didn't I?
You did.
Too slow, as we see. Shadow As you see, Captain there. Look at the weather they're having to put up with here. Proper touring car view, but he's got Swifty right on his tail, so he's got to attack and defend at the same time. Oh, you see Shadow getting it all sorts of loose there. That's given. Can he get through? But he's got Astral right in front of him. He's got the inside line here.
So easy to make a mistake in these conditions. You think there's a bit of grip there, and there
he's
it just
holding on to
suddenly
it.
disappears.
Oh, he's got Tyler to deal with.
And that's the other thing as well. You get a bit of a run. Look at the tyres now. And Danny C's in the mix. Who have we got running out wide?
Right. I'm just gonna.
Hado going out wide out the back. Look at that. Looks interesting from the outside.
Meanwhile, we can see Kavanji.
I didn't know you had fog in this game. Danny inside.
Right.
Can he get it stopped? Jesse, can he made up about 4 positions there? Can he carry it on?
Storm is in 3rd place. He's holding his own there. Meanwhile, Handy Pint sails off into the distance.
It was only a matter of time before one of us got that pun in, wasn't it? But he hasn't got it all his own way, has he? Because Kavanji is right up behind him.
Let's have a look as they go through a rouge here.
He's in the favourable position, is Kavanji, because he's going to have the slipstream. So if he just backs off a little bit here, tries to get the run down through Eau Rouge and Radion, gets the run up the hill, which he's doing. Now he's in the tow. Now what's Handy Pint going to do? Is he going to let him go sail past, or is he going to move over to the right and defend? He's a bit undecisive at the moment. Doesn't feel like he needs to defend, so I wonder whether these two are working together. No, he's moved over to the right now. Angie tries round the outside. This is brave. Straight. How good was he on the brakes? Fantastic move round the outside.
Incredible through there, but the respect shown from both of these, and they're both on. You see, Kavanji's on the wets, whereas Handy Pint's on the intermediate. So just want to go further back down the grid to our mate Butler, who said he was ready-ish, who has found himself based. Look at
He's got a pack behind. I think Butler needs to look forward and look backwards. Do not look backwards.
Yeah, don't look back.
Oh, look at where'd you go?
I'm going to go down to Hado because I'm sure he was. It's changed that much now.
I'm going to say Hado's right at the back now. He's been shuffled right. Oh, shadow spun again. I'm wondering whether Marty got tangled up in that, because Marty looks like he's slowing down. So it looked like it all just kind of got a little bit too close through this right-hander.
Yeah, the Shadow's coming around the outside there. Oh no!
What was it? It was actually LFC. Oh no, it was LFC Ben, and then Marty
finished it off.
Did the finishing it off. So it was unfortunate for Marty because he didn't really have anywhere to go there.
But as you see there, Marty pulled over, waited for Shadow. I mean, Ben technically, yeah. I mean, he gave him a tap, but then this is what we like to see. I only have 2 rules in this community where there's no foul language in the chat, whether it be YouTube, game chat, Discord. Yeah, I'll let that go. There's been a yellow flag somewhere, but the main rule is if you come together, cause someone to go off, pull over, give the place back. There's another classic example of what we strive to achieve here for fair and clean racing. So meanwhile, I'm just going to go up to Hado.
Well, Handy Pint's had an issue then, because he's now down in 12th place. So he was battling for the lead, so that's possibly what the cause of the yellow flag was just a moment ago. Kavanji has now taken the lead with Captain in 2nd and Butler's in 3rd. So
ignore the low fuel warning, ladies and gentlemen. It's not true. It might be true later on, but I just want to see what the gap is at the top now. So 2.1 seconds. Kavanji, well, he's put his money where his mouth is. He did say this to me quite confidently, so fair play to him.
Well, as the famous Charlie Cox once said, Ford is an acronym for floats on race day, and it's actually proving quite true here in the hands of Kavanji, isn't it? Because he's pulling away.
That's brilliant.
He is on the wets though, so if it looks like the rain has slightly started to subside, so he might be in trouble in a moment with those wets. He's going to have to go offline and look for the damp patches, try and cool those tyres down.
That's right.
Meanwhile, we've got Captain who's on purple at the moment. Butler took the fastest lap on the previous lap, and is really hunting down Captain now, as we can see.
But Captain is
Looking
also on the
back.
wets. I think Butler's on the inters.
Butler is on the intermediates, and
That's
that's
right.
really starting to come to him now, because these two cars in front of him are on the wet tyres, and you can see that dry line is just starting to appear. The clearer of, look at, you can see it there, the clearer of there's a perfect example. You can see where that line is starting to dry, and that's only going to help Butler.
Oh, Butler's going for a move.
He's going to try around the outside. Surely he's not going to do it there. He's got a lot more grip.
Oh, he's gone for the inside though.
Gone down the inside. He could not have got any closer to the back of Captain's car there. Fantastic manoeuvre there from Carl, but that was all the extra grip that he's got from those intermediate tyres. Look how close he gets. Watch this. Doesn't even touch.
What a move.
If that sticker was any thicker on the back of Captain's car, he would have peeled it off, wouldn't he?
What a move from Butler to take second place. Now he's on the hunt for Cavanji now. As we see now, as Adam was just pointing out earlier, the dry line is starting to form, so whether you're on wets or intermediates, the trick to managing these tyres is keeping them cool. Now you're going to have to go, the best grip ironically is actually in the middle of the track. Now you're going to have to find the wet patches just to keep the tyres cool and just prolong the life, as we see them starting to wear at the moment now.
Legion's looking at LFC Ben further back.
He is, sorry Adam. No, that's cool.
Down the inside. Oh, they're all diving for the pits. Well, I don't know whether Butler was planning to go into the pits, but LFC Benz followed them in. So Cavanji suddenly went wide and then tried to dive into the pits and ended up taking Butler with him. I don't know if Butler meant to do that, but he's in the pits anyway, and LFC Benz got in. So Captain has now taken the lead.
Interestingly,
Legion is up into second.
He's still. What tyres was Legion on? Because Captain, as far as I'm aware, is the only one. Danny's on wets. I'm sure Danny's on wets.
Legion's on inters.
Oh,
Danny's on inters as well. So,
right, so
these guys can go a little bit further. Most of them are on inters, so I think that's probably that was the best call. I think, seeing that it was drying up.
I just want to see what Marty. I'm sure Marty was testing the. Yes, he's on the inters.
He's on the inters, yeah. So most of these are on the inters. So the only one on the inters that's pitted early was Butler, and I don't know whether he needed to pit then or whether he was in avoidance and ended up having to go into the pits. But do
you think that was a forced stop?
It's possibly, because all these guys that are on the inters, they can go a little bit further into this race. Although, having said that, look at the way that the tyre wear is working against these inters now.
But there's still
really
plenty of water on the track.
There is offline.
As you see Handy Pint there using all the water on the track available. As the LSE Ben come out the pits here.
See, that's how long the pits is around this particular layout here at Spa, because LFC Ben is only just now coming out, and everybody else is going round Pouhon. So that's how much they've learned, and he's gone onto the racing medium. So he's obviously looking at the weather, seeing where the cloud coverage is, and decided it's not going to rain anymore for a moment. I'm going to get onto a decent set of tyres. Interestingly, he's gone onto the mediums and not onto the softs. So he's obviously planning to go a little bit longer and see what this weather does.
Let's see what Butler's got now. Interestingly, Butler's gone onto the softs, which are
sorry, we saw
was that Cavanji
just absolutely pirouetted off. So I'm wondering whether he hit the curb, and he's on the racing softs. He's picked up a bit of damage there, so he may have just hit the curb. Let's just have a look here. He was okay through there. So I'm wondering if he was too close to the grass.
Yeah, outer curb.
Outer curb there. Yeah, just lost the traction on the wet curb. Pirouette round straight into the wall. That's unfortunate. He was doing such a good job early on in this race. He's got time to recover though. He's still got 19 minutes left of this race. And he's on the racing softs.
He'll have a bit of a rough ride now. He'll have some flat spots on those tyres. So Danny C, as we see now, coming into the pits. These are the intermediate runners, the first of the intermediates coming in. All the intermediates.
So the person that we need to watch, sorry Jimmy, is Butler, because he pitted. He was the first to pit on the inters and went straight onto the softs. So he's going to be absolutely caning it round. Handy Pint has stayed out. But everybody else who are on intermediates or wets, they're all going to be pitting. So where does Butler
Oh, Butler should.
rejoin in? He
The Handy
should
Pint has stayed out.
Yeah, I don't know what tyres Handy Pint was on.
Let me just
He was
quickly look. I'll go to Handy Pint in a minute. I just want to see where we're going to stay with Butler, who's got just over half, well, in between half a tank and 3/4 of a tank of fuel. So the racing softs are not. Yeah, these are wearing already. He's only on his first. This is his first lap after he's pitted.
Ben behind him. It's on the mediums.
Yeah, so he's on the harder of the 3 slick tyres.
Yeah, and these guys are all they're coming down now. Everybody else hasn't even come out of the pit lane yet, so they're going to assume the lead.
Right, well, I want to just go quickly to Handy Pint, who's on the intermediates and who's done an extra lap. Now his tyres now, he's all right for fuel, but his tyres now are going to be, he's going to be really feeling this. So, it'd be interesting to see now. The pit loss is roughly, I'm sure it's about 46 seconds, 50 seconds. So I'm just interested where that would bring.
He's going to drop down probably behind Astral, I would have thought.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Cavanji, Legion, somewhere around there. But let's just quickly go.
Driving all off the circuit, trying to cool his tyres, but they're already cooked. So.
But they're pulling in. Look at he's hemorrhaging time at the moment. But
yeah, absolutely. He stayed out a little bit too long on those tyres as Ben absolutely drifted round. He is pushing hard, trying to look. But look at the difference in the tyre wear here, because he's on the mediums. The track is dry enough for these tyres now. That's the right tyres to be on. And Butler in front of him is on the racing softs, and his tyres are not going to last that much longer. So he's going to need to make another pit stop for sure.
I just want to see how much Butler's tyres are wearing. Look at this already. Now, Handy Pint in half a lap has lost 12 seconds. So I'm expecting Handy Pint to come in. We'll stick with Handy Pint and just.
Yeah, his front tyres are completely dead. Look, they are completely.
And he's got the pit entry to deal with.
Yeah, he's probably going to get penalties going over the track there as well. Surprised if he didn't. No, he's got away with that somehow, but he's now, as you say, he's got to really try. He can't even stop the car. Pull the handbrake, try to get to the right.
You see Handy Pint coming into the pits there, so Butler now should be coming through Blanchimont. Speak of the devil, this is Danny C.
Well, Danny C's gone on to the racing softs as well, so he pitted a lap after.
That's right, yeah.
Butler. So his tyres are obviously in a bit of a stronger condition at the moment.
But Astral is having, speaking of Astral, look at this for a battle here.
Really tightening up there, and so Astral's again doing what he did in the last round, is really fighting it with these fast guys, isn't he? Because he's surrounded by everybody, and I mean everybody. Look at this, down the inside looking like Matthias. Down the inside, lined out for the damp patch on the inside, got through there. These are all on the dry tyres. Legion fancies a piece of this now, and down through.
This is brave. This is
going to be brave. Somebody's got to give up. You're not going to go through here side by side. No, Legion backs out of it. Wise choice.
Marty, that's given Marty the toe though, so Marty, you could see a move. Legion will know he's there. But these two are two fast guys, two respectable guys.
But Astral's coming back at Matthias and has retaken that position, so fantastic job there by Astral.
I'm just going to come out of this view. Look at this again. Vauxhall versus Nissan versus Honda versus Vauxhall. So the two Vauxhalls there are really, they're in a Vauxhall sandwich. I heard some tyre screeching there, but I'm not sure whether that was an incident. But Tyler is found himself in 10th place overall. Now Tyler is on racing hards.
Interesting strategy there. That could come to him later on if the weather changes. Depending on what the weather does, they're obviously going to have to keep on. Again, we can't see the weather radar in this view. We've got the track map in the bottom right hand corner. That's where the drivers would normally see the radar. We can't see that, but they'll be watching it intently.
We've got Storm and Convanji here, both. So are they both on the racing? No, we know that Convanji's on the softs.
Storm's on the intermediates for some reason, so I'm wondering whether he forgot to change, or he didn't have the correct tyres, or he... Oh, Karanji again, once again on the curb. Properly pirouetting around as they've gone into the wall. He's damaged the opposite side of the car this time, so at least he's evened it up. Let's have a look. Bit too much curb, braked. The track is still wet offline.
There's one for the highlights, Adam.
It is. Torval and Dean would be proud of that one, wouldn't they?
But meanwhile, I'm just going to go to the top of the leaderboard here as Butler has just assumed the lead as LFC Ben has pitted, interestingly, off the mediums.
That's an interesting strategy. I'm wondering whether he's looked at the radar and thought, I can see some rain coming and I'm going to go onto a different set of tyres, or he's going to go onto the hards and risk it and hope that it doesn't rain anymore, fill it up.
Well, there's no real reason to come in off the mediums other than if he's looked at the weather radar and he's thinking he's going for the undercut, which could be it could prove to be a masterstroke. We'll only know when he exits the pits. But this is a very... We'll stay with Ben. It's a very tight exit out of the pits up the hill at the top of Radion. You've got to be so careful with the white lines, as you'll see.
Well, it's not just that, don't forget that part of the circuit isn't getting used until they come out of the pits, so it holds the water even though it's on the hill. So they come out of there on the slick tyres and they have to be so careful.
Storm has also followed in off the intermediates, so Ben's brimmed the tank. So let's just see what tyres Ben's on. As if your call.
Well, he's gone onto the mediums again, I think.
No, that'll change. When it comes out of pit out, that'll change.
So let's see. No, he's stayed on the mediums. He has stayed on the mediums.
He's put a new set on. Okay. So Butler is now driving Miss Daisy. He's trying to nurse this car around as we see Danny C coming through No Name Corner down the hill into Puon. So he's now got Butler in his sights. So Danny has probably got tyres for one more lap. So he can probably get
going to have to pit this.
Yeah, Butler's definitely going to have to pit.
Absolutely shot.
So let's just see. Legion is on the mediums. He's also having a real battle here with Matthias.
I can see the weather's probably about to change. The clue is the cars have got their headlights on.
That's a good shout, Adam.
The cars only put their headlights on when the rain starts to get close, so this could change here.
It's looking a bit misty, isn't it?
This is really going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons. So
2
that's
seconds, Adam.
really going
Take
to
over,
be...
mate.
Yep, that's okay. It's going to be interesting to see what happens then with Ben. Oh, as Legion goes absolutely sideways. Again, that curb, it holds the water, and if you're on the slick tyres, it's very easy to go sideways. So let's see because can Matthias get a good run here? No, he can't really do much here. We've got Legion trying to hold him off, but LFC Ben has already pitted again back onto the medium. So if this weather is changing, that's going to be interesting to see where it all feeds in. Is the weather going to change to the point where they're going to need to change the tyres? Yellow flag. Somebody's gone into the pits. I didn't see who it was. These guys are carrying on. So who's gone in? So that's Butler who's gone in. Oh, of course, he's got some damage. So he's obviously spun. His front tyres are absolutely shot. So what tyre? It's going to be interesting to see what tyres Butler goes on to. He's going to be watching the radar. See where LFC Ben comes out into.
Definitely looking a bit dark now. It's. See, this is what I was mentioning earlier on in the build-up. This track can be bright sunshine going up the Kemmel Straight, and then when you get round Puon or on Blanchimont, it's clouding over. So we see Swifty is also coming into the pits off the softs. But this will be... I don't think they'll need a full tank of fuel. So we've got 10 minutes remaining, which is approximately 4 to 5 laps. So probably by the time Butler comes out, it'll be 4 laps. So let's just see what tyres Butler goes on to. So he's not going to put a massive amount of fuel in.
I would have thought he'll go on to the mediums because he's seen how hard the wear was on those softs, and it hasn't really worked for him. So I can see him coming out on the mediums. He hasn't done a full tank. It gives him a little bit of flexibility if he's on the medium. Oh, he's gone on to the intermediate. So he's obviously watching the radar.
Yeah, he's seen the clouds rolling in. So let's just see. Danny was only so Danny will be coming in this lap. He's definitely in need of tyres. So he's got, at the moment, a 9-second gap over Marty, which is not enough here. So Marty will be
Marty's
staying
gonna
out now.
Well, you say that, but if the weather's coming in, Marty might be pitting behind him as well.
But these are all on the medium runners.
They are. The
Now
concern for
Haydo
me,
is definitely coming in. Sorry, Adam.
LFC Ben is the concern for me because he'd already pitted and he went back onto the medium. So he's going to have to make, if the rain comes in, he's going to have to come in and go on another set of tyres. So that's going to be an extra pit stop, and that's going to put him way back because he's on the racing mediums. But it depends on how hard the rain falls. It could be raining, but it's no, it's on the curb again. Properly Tokyo drifting. Tokyo drift.
That's worthy of a replay. Ben.
He gave it about 3 attempts to spin down there, and he didn't want to let it go, did he? Watch this. Gets on the curb, a little bit wet, pulls him off the circuit, and every time he tries to turn the wheel, the back end tries to step round on him, and he just absolutely Tokyo drift style all the way round back onto the track.
Oh, brilliant! Absolutely
what do you mean,
brilliant.
Off the circuit?
Right, so we see Danny C is coming in from the lead of the race. It's Marty has stayed out. Well,
Haydo stayed out as well, but his tyres are absolutely shot, so I don't know why he didn't come in, because those tyres are not going to last.
Maybe he's holding on until the rain actually starts.
Yeah, but his tyres are absolutely gone. We saw what happened with Handy Pint. You just can't stay on the circuit when your tyres are as shot as they're going to be. Look,
maybe he's trying to save rather than wear the wet tyres out with a dry track. Maybe he's trying to utilise the dry as much as he can.
He's just going to lose so much time. He's already flashing on the red for the fuel. Marty again, he's going to need to pit for fuel if not tyres anyway.
Now this is the guy to watch here. So Matthias is on the mediums now. It's not actually raining.
The track is actually quite dry. You can see the fluctuation on that water bar. It flickers up to a little bit more water as they get to the edge of the circuit, but when they're on the actual racing line, it's dry. So he's on the correct tyres.
I just want to keep an eye on Tyler. Tyler's found himself in 4th spot on the hards. You said it could come back to him.
Yeah, and although it is raining because the wipers are on his car, just go on board with Tyler a moment. We'll see what he's seeing, see how much rain. It's not really anything raining, is there? So we can't see whether it's coming in any harder. But if it stays like this, those tyres will cope with these conditions. As we see somebody going on wide in the distance, who's that? That's Haydo.
Is that Haydo with his shot tyres?
Yeah, he couldn't make it, and with the damp. Which way is he going to go? Bit of a bump. He just didn't know which way to go there. He should really slow down there, and he is doing, I think.
But he's brought Matthias right in his rear view mirror.
Well, Matthias is going to have to. No, that's Astral behind him. That's Astral.
It is. You're right. Sorry, it's the flash of the Vauxhall, the yellow on the front. Now then, the weather is Look, now we're getting a bit more rain on the windscreen. So it's a pity. Now
we can't see the radar, so we can't see whether this is a cloud that's just handing over.
Marty, that's he's not going to like me for this. I think we've got. He's having a bit of a conversation with Barry R.
Yeah, we know how damp it is on the outside of the circuit, which obviously is the same for the pit lane, and he just drifted him straight into the wall. So
the last of the medium runners now. Captain is also on the mediums. He's opted to stay out. Now, will he regret that?
Well, again, we can't see what the weather's going to do. I mean, that looks absolutely horrific, and it's intermediate weather now. We can see the water level. That should be intermediates really, but if it doesn't rain for too much longer and it starts to dry up again, he's going to be in a good position here. Everybody behind him is pitted, so
he should have got the. Maybe he's trying to get the overcut. No, they're not sure. I'd be interested to see what Marty comes out on here. Look at that for a shot, straight from the pit garage. I've just got a coffee from the machine at the back.
Danny C is now in second place. He's come out in front of this as captain's carrying on.
So Intermediates is looking like the favoured tyre.
So that was obviously as they were going.
Look at that! Ooh, that might be a penalty. That you've got to be so careful.
It was close. It was close. So there's Danny C. He's gone past.
And Danny C has opted to go for the wet tyre.
So he's obviously seen what the weather's doing, and he's decided, no, I'm going to play it safe and go onto the wet tyre. So this is probably going to be the net lead of the race, because captain's only 14 seconds and it's hemorrhaging time up in front.
Exactly.
He's on the wrong tyres, but Marty has really brought himself into this. And don't forget, Marty had that incident early on in the race with Shadow, and slowed right down, and he was towards the back. So
speaking of Shadow, really where is Shadow?
Yeah, Shadow hasn't really made any. Probably he's in 10th. Butler's all the way down in 12th as well, so the strategy really hasn't worked out for those guys, has it? LFC Ben's still down there in 9th. So they've
Swifty
been caught out by the weather.
That's a really good really good showing for Swifty. Now he's on the intermediates now. Look at the wear now. Maybe he pitted earlier, but hopefully the wear should plateau at this stage, and
he should be okay. He should be okay. Yeah, he'll get to the end of this lap, and then possibly end of this lap, and then one more. So if it continues raining, it's not going to dry up enough to wear those tyres. So he's okay to the end. I think he's okay on fuel. He's just got to keep it on the track.
He said this was going to be. He said he was humbled in the practice room by the weather. He's not been in Jimmy's lobbies before, but
yeah, you've made him eat his words on this one, haven't you?
Well, just going to quickly go into 4th place and look at Matthias on the wet tyre. He's good to the end. And he's got a 4-second gap over Legion, which is a really handy gap to have. And he's got the better tyre in this weather. See, we know that Marty went on the intermediates. Danny's also on the wets. Now, I'm expecting Captain should be coming in. Whew, he's there, paddling his way through Blanchimont. Maybe that guy's still there with the dinghies.
Yeah, selling the dinghies, isn't he?
But look at that, he's struggling to turn it in. Come on, Captain, come on, get it in. He's managed to get it in. So,
and that brings Matthias, the independent, up into
onto the podium for the independents.
Fantastic result
What
for Matthias.
a result! Now, what I haven't seen is Mr. 360 Kavanji. What a guy! Still, he's found himself in 13th place. Over a minute behind, but he's ploughing on. This is what I love to see. And yes, this is a tough race, and I've had this from every season, as you'll vouch for, Adam, that the whole grid, barring a disconnect from the wheel, which we can't help, they've all finished the race. No matter where they are in the grid, they've placed, they've finished, and just got their head down and cracked on with it.
Well, this is going to be Kavanji's final lap, because there's only 10 seconds left on the clock, but everybody else is now on their final lap. So we can see what the weather's doing. It is conditions for wet tyres. So anybody on the wet tyres is in a strong position. Marty's doing a fantastic job in second because he's on the intermediates.
And Danny's on the wets.
And Danny's on the wets. So Danny's got a good comfortable gap as long as he doesn't make a mistake, but Matthias is on the wets and he is closing in slowly on Marty. So Danny's got a bit of wear on the tyres, but that's not a problem. He's got the fuel. So go through Pouron. Just keep it tidy, don't have to run too wide. No, it doesn't. Keeps off that white line, keeps off the curb, keeps it close to the inner part of the circuit.
I'm just curious just to see what the gap is between. It's coming down, but I think Marty is definitely, he's going to hold on to his second place. Now Legion is 6 seconds behind this battle here. So what's the gap between himself and Haydo? So yeah, Legion has guaranteed a. LFC Ben, interestingly, has found himself in 6th position. So that bold strategy didn't actually work. So I'm just going to focus on the leader as we see Danny coming through Blanchimont.
Well, this is a good good run from Danny. He won the feature race in the last time out. He didn't run at Brands Hatch, of course. He's going to win the feature race here, barring any mistakes into the chicane. And it's a good omen for Danny, because last season he really struggled to win feature races. He was good in the sprints, but he only won the one feature race, but he's done it here again.
Here we see Danny C for Team Audi bringing his Audi over the line to take the win for the feature race here at Spa-Francorchamps. Marty brings it home in second place, and Matthias, what a drive to put the independent Honda from Rod Gravitt on the podium here at Spa. What a race. I think we found our DOTD, Adam.
It's highly likely, isn't it? That was a fantastic run. I mean, he was quick in the sprint race, but he really showed his class in that one. He obviously likes the wet conditions. He got the strategy absolutely perfectly, and he wasn't that far off Danny C and Marty, who we know are quality and class drivers. So absolutely brilliant result there for him. But well done to Danny C. Brilliant.
What a result. Let me just save the replay. Whew, I can breathe now, Adam.
Well, Danny's taken the win. Danny's taken the win, and another feature race for Danny, so that's going to be good points for him in the championship. Marty, another second place, and he got the fastest lap as well, so that's another bonus point. Matthias there in third, the lead independent as well, so that's a great result for him. Legion bringing it home in fourth place in the Nissan. LFC Ben, as Jimmy said, the strategy didn't really work out for Ben there, unfortunately, but he brings it home in fifth, which is strong points. That's going to be good news for him in the championship, because Clay Jacks isn't here this evening. Haydo finishing in sixth place, so another strong showing from Haydo. Astral, again, fantastic result. Look at these independents right up there as well. Seventh place for Astral.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Tyler in eighth place, so that's Tyler's. I think that's Tyler's best finish of the season
by
overall as well.
By far.
So he will be happy with that. Another independent, Swifty in ninth, and then we've got Captain in 10th. Shadow, he's just not had the luck, has he, so far this season, finishing in 11th place. Butler must have had an issue somewhere as well, because he's finished down there in 12th. Kavanji 13th, he had a couple of spins, but yeah, at least he carried on. Storm, well, considering the conditions, quite fitting for him finishing in 14th place, and Handy Pint must have had another disconnect again, and down there in 15th place. But it's just you, isn't it, throwing these conditions in? And just
that's right, blame me.
Makes it, well, it is you. You set it up. But it makes them think, doesn't it? And it makes it really interesting to see how the strategies pan out.
Have you got pictures of those?
No, but I'll get it off the. I can get it off the screen.
I'll put it on now, and you can take a picture of that.
Let's just do that. Right, okay, I got that one, and I got that one as well.
Cool.
Yep.
19 watching. Well, softs didn't work, says Haydo. Let's just catch up with the YouTube chat. So let me just.
Try to do a Rubens Barrichello, but it didn't work, says Captain. Shadow saying worst race of my life. Yeah, it was unfortunate for Shadow. We know how good Shadow is, and he's just not having the rub of the green this season, is he?
And get in there, Danny, from Danny C. He's got his fan club in him. The rain still, look at this, it's honking it down now. I bet they're glad they're not racing in this now. So, well,
of course, don't forget in real life when it rains like this, that you've got the other added problem of it misting up. So at least they didn't have those issues.
Switching back just for the record, but I think there's two standout. Well, I say two. The ones I can remember are the car control showed by every single person on the grid there in some of the toughest conditions. Butler's move is overtake of the day for me. Butler going through Pouon was a standout move, and some of the spins, yeah, they were great to watch, but probably not there. He's a bit dizzy, I think, Kavanji at the moment. But yeah, Shadow, you didn't have the best luck, but yeah, it's a long season, but I know Shadow just enjoys racing with everybody on the grid here, and he enjoys it. He enjoys the race, and getting the thanks there from Storm I'm going to get some drivers. I didn't do the interviews after the sprint because it was busy organising the grid. But I'm just going to see if anybody is available.
A big shout out to all the independent drivers, though. That was a fantastic showing from all of them. They were all in the points, and yeah, it's really going to mix things up. I'll be sorting out the points tomorrow. Get those over to Jimmy as soon as possible, and then when he's available, he'll be putting those up in Discord. And this is really going to mix everything up with these results. I'm not even going to attempt to do the maths on the fly. I can't do that at the best of times, let alone on the fly. So, but yeah, it's really going to mix up the standings, that's for sure. LFC Ben, he's more than likely going to be taking the lead of the championship now. I would have thought. As I said, Clayjacks wasn't in it, so he finished 5th in that last race. Still getting some good points, but it's really going to be interesting to see how it all tallies itself.
As per usual, I can't find the names because they've got that many names, different names, that I'm struggling to find them. I've got Astral from the Independent Vauxhall, but I can't find Matthias, but I can see if I can get Team Nissan for the Independent. So we'll get Haydo. We'll get Haydo, and let's see if we got those two in. Are we there, gents?
They're probably ringing themselves out in the bar, aren't they?
So who've we got in the chat?
I haven't seen anybody pop up on screen, so here we go. Haydo is in. Astral is in.
Right, so if you do that, I'll see if you chat, then I'll see if I can find some more.
Okay, so we'll have a quick word with Astral then. So Astral, if you can hear me, buddy.
Yep, I can hear you.
Well done. A fantastic result for you once again. You obviously had driver of the day from the last time out, but how did you find that race and the conditions and the strategy?
Yeah, it was tough to keep grip. The rain was, well, as you could tell, rough, but I had to power through it. I think probably I should have gone for the wets because I went inters on both stints and just seemed to struggle a bit too much for the weather. But overall, I think it was a decent race, and I'm happy with my outcome for it.
Yeah, it was a fantastic result anyway, finishing in 7th place. But for everybody at home who's not necessarily familiar with the game, and obviously we can't see it on the stream, what were you actually looking at on the radar? Were you watching the rain come in and trying to judge it on that, or were you just playing by the conditions and seeing what everybody else is doing?
Yeah, I was looking on the radar and it was just quickly jumping up to like kind of green weather, which is, if you don't know, that is quite harsh weather. So it was kind of just trying to decide, could I like go on the wets, like how long would the rain last for before wets would start wearing out. So you got to think of when it's dry as well. So you got to try to figure out which is the best tyre to go onto for the future.
Well, it was a great result for you. Well done, and looking strong for you in the independents as well. So you must be happy with that.
Yeah, very.
Well done, mate. Thank you very much for joining, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
And who else do we have in this? Haydo we've got in, isn't it? Haydo, are you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here.
How did you find the conditions out there? You just heard Astral describing how his strategy went, but how was it in your position, finishing 6th?
Slippery. Yeah, I was trying to get intermediates to work. It kind of worked, saved some fuel. So I had less fuel to refuel in the pits, so I could leave it earlier, get softs, but in the end it didn't work because they were dead, and I was like, please, one more lap and then you go to wets. One more lap, but they didn't hold it. But when I went to the wets, I had more grip than the others, even though it was slippery, so I could take much easier, but I wish I had hards or even mediums. But yeah,
Interesting.
How do you find the car handles in the wet compared to the dry conditions as well? Is it an easy car to drive in the wet, or is it a bit of a handful?
It's fun in the wet. In the dry, it's more like, since it's a game based on controller, but it's more understeery. So, like, you need to wait in the dry, like wait, and then go on throttle. While in the wet, it's so slippery that you need to go like counter steering and like with the throttle and with the braking. Like, it's more fun than the dries, because it's not like waiting till the car makes the corner, but it's like you can play with the throttle, rotate the car, and then you apply too much throttle, so you need to counter steer it. So it's much more fun in the wet than the dry, in my opinion.
Well, at least you had fun. That's the main thing, and you've scored some good points tonight. So congratulations for that, and thank you for joining. And we will see you next week.
Yeah. See you guys.
Thank you very much, Hado. And we've got one last guy in. Couldn't leave without on, especially this day. Tyler Man, are you there?
Hell yeah, brother.
Happy 4th of July, matey. Look at that.
Thank you.
Prioritising Jimmy's touring cars over the Independence Day celebrations. What a legend.
Yeah, it was a good race. The sprint race had some good battles. Ended up finishing, 11th because of a few spins, and I think a lot of pickup guys are struggling. But for the feature race, I can't take any of the credit. I had a spotter with me on my live stream, Mr. Vaughn in 2012 from the SHP community, giving me the strategy, which ended up working. We finished 8th on the running, so
he's
best
obviously
finish yet.
He's getting paid too much from Nissan. He's got his own spotter crew.
Yeah, when did Nissan ever enter into the NASCAR scene? I didn't realise that.
So, and of course, I had my red, white, and blue suit on today, because it is July the 4th, so.
No,
the car felt good all day. Avoided a few wrecks. I think I accidentally pushed Hado off track, so my fault to Hado for that. I did slow up for him, as you might have seen on the stream.
Yeah, we saw that.
I didn't know which way he was going to go. He went left and he went right, and I had no time to react on the brakes. So.
No, we saw that. It was difficult, especially through the S's there.
Right.
And with the damp conditions. So no, it was all good. It was the respect shown throughout the whole season and previous seasons. We talked about it in comms, and yeah, that's your highest place finish up to now, Tyler.
Hell yeah. Aim for higher, of course.
That's it. To finish within the top 10 overall, considering the quality of drivers we've got, that's an impressive feat to do that, mate. Well done.
And, within the top 3 to Independence, I think, too, right? Or how was it, like 3 ahead of me? I'm not sure.
Well, you were second
it's
before
it's
this
hard
race.
To keep up with them.
Yeah, you were second.
You were in that feature race. You were the second independent.
That's right.
That's good points.
Yeah, because I know Astral's won.
Sorry, third independent. Astral.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know Astral's won.
So, but yeah, some good points haul for you there, Tyler.
Hell yeah, keep on moving.
That's it. Keep those results going. So, how much is it costing you now for this spotter crew?
Well, luckily he doesn't charge very much. But
oh well, okay. You might do if you start getting some more points, but there's that
is true.
We just want to reiterate at this point. I don't know whether you know the story, Tyler, that Matt Neal, who raced your car back in the day, actually won a race outright, and Toka paid him £250,000. I just want to reiterate that's not on offer.
Well, of course, I don't expect it to be. So,
but
also,
overall,
by the way, he
enjoyed
is on my stream, and he says hello, Jimmy.
Oh well, hello to all the American guys over there. I'll have to get in one of the SHP lobbies at some point.
Yep, of course, always welcome.
So I'll just get the scapes on, and seeing as though it's July the 4th, we've got to finish with your car on the stream, mate.
Oh yeah.
So right, well, I'm going to wrap up the stream. Any last thoughts, Adam?
Well, no. Where do we start? I mean, it was chaos from start to finish in some respects, but as you said, great driving by everybody. Car control was off the charts. We had a couple of incidents, but yeah, it's just the fact that you throw in these nice little curveballs for everybody just to make them think. We don't want to make it too easy for them, do we? So yeah, it's really going to shake up the championship, and it's going to be properly interesting to see how the points tally up. But yeah, looking forward to next week already now.
Well, I must admit, I was chuckling to myself when you were commentating and saying, yeah, maybe the mediums or the hards would be better because it looks like it might be drying out.
Yeah,
I knew that you didn't.
I didn't know.
You didn't know either.
No.
So yeah, that was a bit of amusement for Jimmy there. But well, I'm going to wrap up the stream there. Thank you ever so much to absolutely every single one on the grid. All of you tuned in watching this. I hope you enjoyed it as much as myself and Adam did. And thank you to, once again, all the drivers on the grid for providing such quality entertainment. It wears us out. I mean, we were sweating commentating, but God only knows what they were going through in the cars. That was some tough conditions there. I don't like to start them off easy. That isn't the worst that Jimmy can throw, as most of the drivers on the grid will vouch for last season. The final at Nürburgring. Yeah, I think they mixed that up with a typhoon coming in Asia. So yeah, that is possible. So thank you ever so much again for tuning in. This is Jimmy Codger and his BTCC Championship Season 4. Next week, same time, same place, over here at Jimmy Codger Racing. Photos will be put up on my Instagram. That's Jimmy_Codger Racing. So feel free to check that out, and there'll be plenty of photos there. I might even put a few videos in there. There's some spins tonight. That was give us some entertainment. But until next week, this is Jimmy signing off for the evening. Enjoy your weekend, and I will catch you next week. Live 7:15 PM UK time. Lobby open at 7:30. Track will be announced on possibly Sunday or Monday. There won't be weather in the next round. I can hear the sigh of relief from here. So, with that being said, that's it's good night from me, and it's good night from him. So thank you ever so much again, Adam. Couldn't have done this without you, buddy. So that's round 3. Round 4 next Friday, the 11th of July. Take care and have a great week, and I will see you next week.